afternoon. Um, this is a special message to Mrs. Marie Theres-Etienne, the acting registrar in Dominica, to Mr. Leroy Peters, to the Vinci August, and to the other members of the registry staff. I have been trying to get in touch with you all over the past couple of days, and I have sent numerous emails and numerous supporting documents, something that really isn't necessary for me to do because I do believe that you are fairly aware of what the situation is and what the requirements are. However, I went out of my way to do so anyway. And then with a video, and now I'm doing this follow-up video, which I'm going to be very polite, very respectable, and even contrite. But what I am here to say is that in the past, when I've spoken to you, you have raised the issue and say that I am making threatening messages or threatening words towards you all, and I wanted to assure you that you are not worth it to us. I do not threaten people. I simply speak what has to be spoken when we have an issue. So the issue before us today is that the judge dismissed the case on the 13th, and as part of that case, there are two caveats. A blind person could see that. A blind person could see that, and you got the directives from the judge to publish the orders or the order, they could all be in one order, and you sent me an order that only addressed one of the caveats, the one relating to Font-Baron. But the one relating to Mont Prosper have not been removed. I sent you on late last night, early in your morning, and I know you have to see my email when you come in. And it says on the, I attach the original caveat. I attach the only communications I've ever received from your court and from your registry, which was a letter indicating that I should bring my certificate of title in for you to affix the caveat on the back of it. And you had no grounds. You had no grounds. Gloria didn't win a case. Gloria, I don't owe her money. But Mr. Commodore and Judge Stevenson went ahead and placed these caveats on me. Okay? They don't even have something that says Gloria's name is La Roque. And Mr. Commodore, may his soul rest in peace, or maybe he finds damnation wherever he may be. Because that man, the way you all portray him on the hour and the moment of his death and during his departure, was not the person that I knew. And the way he behaved towards us and the way he conducted this suit was very underhanded. I refer to it as cockroach law, where you do things in hiding. Okay, so let me let you understand this. I have not read your report on 141 of 2011 and 297 of 2011 because it's just a big task already to get you to take hold of you before things go too far and we pretend we forget that there is a caveat in 254 of 2015 on Mont Prosper, and you need to remove it, and you need to remove it right away, at least today. Second, you all need to acknowledge my emails, at least give an acknowledgement, says, dear sir, like you used to say it. We acknowledge receipt of your email and we'll get back to you in due course. And then you can take 2 years and 10 years to get back to me. Now imagine if it were you, Mrs. Etienne, and a professional like yourself with all of your honors, sued you in court. And 8 years went by and the court itself never looked at the case and say, oh, what's this case doing there? Why hasn't it been advance? Why isn't it on the docket? Why doesn't it go to trial? And the person pays an attorney tens of thousands of dollars because any land matter you walk into an attorney's office in Dominica, it's $10,000, much as a matter to come and to revoke a probated will and to get it to be declared intestate and to have the estate settled by Dominica intestacy laws, right? An attorney will charge you quite a bit for that. But let me give you one little example again. In an effort to follow the directives of what people have been telling us, we attempted to find legal counsel on Dominica. And I think we, and I in particular, we're too hot, too sexy for anybody to touch. So we approached Harris and Harris. And Harris responded to us in an email, and they said they cannot handle a case of this magnitude. So all cases of magnitude such that Harris and Harris cannot handle it, and we do not believe any other of the attorneys at this point have the necessary what it takes to articulate our position and to advance our cause. So on this particular matter, a win is a win is a win, and we have won. And you, in a manner of speaking, are raining on our parade. We cannot relax and move forward and be happy and focus on other things we have to focus on because we are still being held hostage by the fact that you have the case files. And you have to understand why I am quick to react and to react so quickly and to bring pressure to bear upon you and upon the system, because this case was started in 2015. Peter Joseph, a key witness to Gloria, he died. Shortly thereafter, Anthony Commodore died. We have no clue where Gloria is. She could be dead for all we know, or she could be dying. But if she were alive and if she had the wherewithal, I'm sure she would have showed up, or she would have hired another attorney if she had the means. And if she was really passionate about her claim. As you can see, I've been very passionate about my claims. I am the one. I am the one who have spoken to you, have written to you, for whom you have tried to give a bad name in order to get this case to be placed on the docket. And as I so wish and so desired, as Bernie said to me, that's what you wanted, isn't it? Of course, that's what I want. I want the cases to be made current, and I want the cases to be heard, and I want the facts to be presented before the court and before the judge, and for her to rule. So in the same breath and in the same manner of speaking, as we deal with case 144, sometimes you all make me forget. I think it's 141 of 2011 and 297 of 2011. I have not read what you sent me from the court, because already I've become distracted by 254 of 2015, which is totally dismissed with prejudice to refiling, and you send me one order and you don't do it completely, and then you say I'm threatening you. Well, let me tell you this. If you're working for somebody, you're in a job, and your supervisor or your upper leadership, whether you're in the military, in the police force, in the army, the navy, the judiciary, the chief justice call you in to give you feedback on your performance. And they say, you know what? You keep getting these little directives and you can't fulfill them right. Like Walsh could not have given me a properly published certificate of results coming from the appellate decision. He kept and insisted on sending me an editable Word document. And then in that document, he had one convoluted sentence. He did not write exactly what we agreed to. He didn't include the case numbers. He didn't say what it was about. He just did that, did that, did that. And I had to give Walsh a very good cussing just to get him right. Then I start to realize that Walsh had some literacy issues. So I'm realizing the problem between us is not so much so that maybe you have, but I have to say you have ill intent, because you know why? If you look at the documents that are stamped that I submitted, I mean, they may be defective, it doesn't matter at this point, but they do show that the defendant did respond and the defendant did mount a counter offensive. You see, this is the thing. You have to know to mount offensives before anything happens. So I did launch a counter offensive, and it is on that basis I thought you all were going off I filed in October an application again for that case to be dismissed after it had become current. Nonetheless, I provided Mr. Leroy Peters with the copies, crooked as they may have scanned as they be, of the documents that I presented to the court in 2016 and which were accepted and stamped filed. So somewhere in there, and that's trickery too. That's trickery too, because I filed a more updated one in October, right? And I sent it to you. I sent it to you. Read it. Read it. So don't come to me with no excuse. Because if when I filed these documents in 2016, they went missing, Joan Commodore was the acting registrar, Anthony Commodore is the uncle. You see, when you do bad things to people, things are going to happen to you, and there's no such things. If I die now, then you can say it's premature, because I have to settle all family business before dying, and that has to be done this year. So what I'm saying to you is, if you struggled and fought with the court for 8 years, and if you brought documents to the court and blatantly they don't show up on the docket, blatantly the case sits there for 8 years, and people have to die for you all to take me seriously, maybe some more people need to die. Maybe, just maybe. And this is not a threat. This is a word of God and the spirituality. You understand? And maybe you're waiting for me to die. I'm having a very, very bad pain. And I know somebody's sticking a needle in my back. They're sticking a needle in a doll, and I'm feeling it right here. I'm telling you, it's getting really bad. And I'm getting ready to get on the computer and call some specialists to go have my whole body looked at to preempt whatever this may be. It's been going on for 2 weeks now. So I'm not well. I'm not in remarkable health. But yet the struggle continues, and yet I'll be strong like a bull, even a wounded bull, to fight until the death, until 100% victory is achieved. So, Mrs. Etienne, I kindly ask that you look at those case files. Everything is in the case file, even Hurricane Marie and everything is still in the case files. And I have the exact copy of what was contained in the case file, and I have the copy of the docket as of 2016. And absent from there were my motions. And since I perfected it, I came back with what's called an application before the court to grant a motion of dismissal in 254 of 2015, and to remove the caveats at Mont Prosper and the caveats at Font-Baron. I would kindly ask that if you would stick to this matter, you all just drag your feet too damn much. And even when you got the thing, it taken you 2 weeks. 2 weeks, people forget in 2 weeks, People forget overnight. 2 weeks to tell me that the order was entered on the 13th, but the order was granted on the 13th, but it was entered on the 25th, which was a couple of days ago. Right? It was entered. And then you send me the wrong thing, it's incomplete, it's incorrect. And you expect me to be nice, to be polite, to be calm, when I've already experienced so much. I've experienced loss, I've experienced loss of time, the time value of money, opportunity costs, and you just shouldn't, if anybody in your court that you should give priority to is Peter Lander. If anybody in your system, you should give priority to is Peter Lander, because you want Peter Lander to get out of your business, and Peter Lander wants to be out of your business. And as you know, with your uppityness, your arrogance, and your disrespectfulness before Peter Lander, Peter Lander has been struggling for 8 years on this case. You should not be an impediment to his victory, and you should not deny him justice. Justice delayed is justice denied. And therefore, I'll tell you once again, and I'll speak softly, but know that I carry a big stick. Yes, I carry a big club, and I will speak softly because this is of utmost importance. Before you all become intoxicated in carnival, and then you go for another period and you forget again, because how could you, with all this paperwork in front of you, make such a mistake? That's not a mistake, that's intentional. That is intentional. Okay, and I do not do well with intentional conspiracies. There was an intentional to deny me to show up on the 11th of November. This should have been settled last year, a long time ago, and we could have been battling over the holidays over how you didn't do it right. Now we start this whole new year and we're fighting again because you haven't done your job well. You didn't do it right. Now, if the Chief Justice calls you in and she says, well, Mrs. Or the Attorney General, they say, well, this is why we can't make you a full-time Chief Registrar, you'll be upset. You'll be upset, you know, and then you might wonder, what does Peter Lander have to do with it? Well, you just don't know. You don't know my relationship with those people. Don't mind what they tell you in private or who's speaking about me. But just remember, this little matter was too large, okay? It was of such magnitude that Harris and Harris refused to take it on. So what I want to tell you, what they say, give Jack his jacket, give Jack his jacket. And Jack is asking for his jacket right now. And once, as always, I want to bless you in the name of Francois Macandal and to remind you that a luta continua, a luta continua, a luta continua. And what does the struggle continues against? Against incompetency, against a lack of knowledge, against illiteracy, against an ineffective bureaucracy. That is what we're struggling against. And I'm telling you, if this will be the last video, you know, I found out it's very expensive to send you a message by Raven. So it has to be that it's really time when that Raven shows up. And you have to give the Raven a lot of training so that it can fly over the international waters and land right there on the steps of the post office building and sneak it way up the stairs to where you are. Anyway, I want you to know, take care of that business so I can move on, one down, one more to go, and we'll be all right. We'll be all right. We'll be all right. I don't have no beef with you all, no quarrel. You understand? I came fair and free, and I won. So don't deny my victory. I came, I saw, and I conquered. And that's what it is. That's what always supposed to happen. Oh, by the way, when you go read this video, please subscribe because I've got a lot of interesting materials and I've got more to come. Once I get over all these struggles, once I get through my docket, you see my docket? I got a docket, yeah. So the thing is, we're still going to be engaged, but this will free me up to bring the other engagement. So let me say this. You see, so this here is Mon Prosper, right? What's going on here? So Gloria Larrock, I thought I had a Lytton here. I don't even have her on here. Look at that. Look at that. How did I miss her? Because I knew it was going to end. But usually I'd write her down here. So I was going to write it off and I'd feel good, but I don't have anything to write off. What I have here is Fenty, La Rock, and Landa, and then I have to bring some additional claims in that matter. So that's where we are. But anyway, understand that what's happening shouldn't be happening. I mean, at any case, y'all should have been happy for me. Y'all should have been celebrating with me. And y'all should get it right the first time. After all, for a guy with no honors, with no schooling, and no university, you have to give me credit for something, my friend. Those of us who don't have honors have to do something. Anyway, don't forget now, I'll come and take away your honors if you do not get this matter fixed and get it fixed. I already given you 48 hours have gone by. Today is Friday. I know you wouldn't have worked till quarter to 4. Maybe you even left the office already. Uh, in any case, hey, look, like I tell you, the struggle continues. Even when you think it's victory, you still have to fight some more, you know? And I don't apologize for fighting. I will never apologize. And as I've told you before, everything is fair in war. Don't let Europeans fool you, because they cheat in war too. They cheat in everything. Anyway, you all trying to cheat me. Stop doing that. I beg you before, and I'll beg, and I'll never stop asking you. Because at the end of the day, all I can do is ask. Like I told you, I don't have no power except the power of prayer and the power of spiritualism. And of course, I can always send some your way, and I will. Look at my crooked light. You see it? It's crooked. Hey, when you're in a fight, yeah, you don't have time to make everything look pretty. And right now, I told you I got that pain, and I got to go to the medical school and schedule to see if they can look in there and see, if it's something really bad or, you know. But, you always want to stay on top of things. And if my demise should come, I just want each and every one of you to know that it has and continues to be a pleasure to know you and to interact with you and to work with you and to fight with you. And wherever I go, you can always call on me. And if ever you're in a tight situation, you'll always ask yourself, what would Pope Peter Emmanuel the First do? What would he say? And how would he handle it? And so, yeah, I'm not well. I'm not in remarkable health. And I think one of you got a doll out there and you're pricking me in my back. Anyway, maka weza tutale. Mpaka imo sabis. I was not made to die. I was not made to die. Not going to heaven, for certain. And I don't believe in hell. So I cannot die. And my work cannot die because you're only dead until the last person who remembers you have passed away as well. So there's no one to remember you. That's how you die. See, Jesus is not dead. Muhammad is not dead. Malcolm X is not dead. Martin Luther King is not dead. Abraham Lincoln is not dead. Thomas Jefferson is not dead. So it's your legacy that makes you an immortal, and you are speaking to an immortal. All right, that's too much for you. You can't handle that. But anyway, I hope you got my message. I hope you got my message, and I wish that you act now rather than later.
I don't want peace. I want problems always.